You think New Zealand is just about sheep, Lord of the Rings, and people who say sorry even when you bump into them? Well, you're not wrong. But what if I told you? There's a darker, weirder, and utterly mind-blowing side of New Zealand that no travel guide ever talks about. From towns where cats are banned by law, to penguins breaking into sushi shops, to a river that legally has human rights, New Zealand isn't just beautiful, it's brilliantly eccentric. So get ready, because we're counting down the top 7 most unbelievable facts about one of the most bizarre yet breathtaking countries on Earth. And trust me, fact number 1 will leave you speechless. In 2011, the ground in Christchurch didn't just shake, it shattered lives. A devastating 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit the heart of this peaceful New Zealand city. Buildings crumbled, roads split open, and for many, time stood still. But what happened after the destruction? No one could have predicted it. As the dust settled, something strange began to emerge beneath the broken streets. Hot water started bubbling out of the earth, steam whispered from cracks in the pavement, and the scent of minerals filled the air. The earthquake had ripped open an ancient geothermal layer beneath the city, creating natural hot springs in places they never existed before. Locals were stunned. One street had a fully steaming pool overnight. A city that once shook in fear now quietly simmered with warmth. Some saw it as nature's apology. Others, as a quiet reminder that beauty can rise even from destruction. But it left the world wondering, if an earthquake can do that, what else is hiding beneath New Zealand's soil? And wait till you hear what's happening in a town where cats are banned by law. Fact number 6. Imagine this. You move into a beautiful seaside town in New Zealand. The air is clean, the hills are green, but then someone tells you, you're not allowed to bring your cat. Wait. What? Welcome to Omaui, a small town in Southland, New Zealand where cats are literally banned. Yes, banned. Not just restricted, but completely outlawed. Why? Because this tiny town is home to some of the rarest native birds on the planet, and even a single domestic cat can wipe out entire local populations. To protect these fragile species, the town voted on a radical solution: no new cats. And once your current cat passes away, you can't get another. Now, pet lovers were furious, but conservationists applauded it as a bold step toward preserving nature. It raises a haunting question. In the battle between personal freedom and environmental survival, who should win? Would you be willing to give up your furry friend to save a bird you might never see? Let us know in the comments, because this story still sparks global debate. And just wait till you hear about a river in New Zealand that has the same legal rights as a human being. Fact number 5. Imagine walking into a sushi restaurant in downtown Wellington. You're hungry. You smell fresh salmon. And suddenly, you spot a penguin waddling between the tables. No, you're not dreaming. In New Zealand, penguins don't just live near the ocean. They sneak into cities. Meet the little blue penguin, the world's smallest penguin species. They're barely a foot tall, but they have big personalities. And in Wellington, they've become, quite literally, city citizens. A few years ago, a pair of adventurous penguins broke into a sushi shop. Not once, but twice. Why? Because the warm space behind the fridge was the perfect place for them to build a nest. Cozy, safe, and, ironically, filled with fishy smells. The police were called, the penguins were gently removed, but within hours, they waddled back in again. It was so cute. Even the officers couldn't stop smiling. Today, New Zealanders have learned to live with penguins as neighbors. In some coastal areas, penguin crossings are real road signs, and in Wellington, volunteers have built little wooden homes just for them, like suburban villas, but for birds in tuxedos. But here's the question. In a world where cities are growing fast, should we be making space for wildlife? Even if it means sharing our restaurants with penguins. Tell us what you would do if a penguin strolled into your favorite food spot. Would you take a selfie or offer it a seat? And speaking of unusual creatures, what if we told you there's a river in New Zealand that's legally considered a person? Yup. Fact number 4 is going to bend your mind. Stay with us. Fact proper. When you think of rebellion, your mind probably jumps to fiery protests, barricades, and tear gas. But New Zealand, they staged a rebellion so polite, it could make a British butler blush. This is the story of a flag. Yes, a national flag. That rectangle of cloth became the center of a nationwide debate. In 2015, the New Zealand government asked its citizens, "Should we change our flag?" Some people felt the old one, with its British Union Jack, didn't truly represent their independent identity. So what did the government do? They held a national referendum. Everyone got to vote. Designers submitted new flag ideas. Some were majestic, some were memes. One popular contender? A black flag featuring a silver fern, a moon, and a laser-eyed Kiwi bird. That's right. A laser-shooting bird became a symbol of freedom and internet gold. People campaigned for their favorite. Flags using posters, videos, even rap songs. The debate was fierce, but friendly, passionate, but peaceful. Ultimately, the old flag won. But what the world saw was amazing. A nation debating its identity with humor, art, and civility. Now let me ask you this, have you ever seen a rebellion fought with memes and democracy instead of fire and fury? If that blew your mind, wait till you hear fact number 3. Where a river in New Zealand was granted legal human rights. Fact number 3. Imagine walking through tall grass, barefoot, without a single worry about what's slithering underneath. In most countries, that's a recipe for disaster. But in New Zealand, it's just another day. Because here's something mind-blowing. There are no snakes in New Zealand. Not even one. No pythons in the forests. No rattlesnakes in the rocks. Not even a tiny garden snake hiding under a log. So how is that even possible? Well, New Zealand has some of the strictest biosecurity laws in the world. They don't just dislike snakes, they ban them entirely. It's illegal to own, import, or breed snakes. And if one shows up, the government handles it like a national emergency. This obsession with being snake-free isn't random. It's all about protecting the native wildlife, like flightless birds that evolved without ever needing to defend against serpents. Now, contrast that with Australia, New Zealand's wild neighbor. Australia is basically the VIP club for the world's most venomous snakes. Over there, snake sightings are a weekly event. Over here, they're non-existent, so while Aussies carry snakebite kits and live on edge, Kiwis hike barefoot and sleep soundly. A paradise without predators. But wait, if you think that's strange, wait till you hear fact number 2, where a river is treated like a person and has its own legal rights. You won't believe what happens next. Fact number 2. What if I told you there's a place where time bends just a little differently, where the clocks tick off beat from the rest of the planet, and even the sun rises with a slight attitude? Welcome to the Chattam Islands, a tiny remote part of New Zealand and home to one of the strangest time zones in the world. Here, the official time is +112 hours and 45 minutes from GMT. Yes, not a full hour, a 45-minute offset. It's one of the only places on Earth where people live in a time zone that's not rounded to the hour. Why? Well, it all comes down to location and a touch of local identity. The Chattam Islands sit so far east of mainland New Zealand that when the rest of the country decided its standard time, the islanders said, "That doesn't quite work for us," so they created their own. A time zone that better fits their sunrises, tides, and way of life. And here's where it gets even weirder. Because of this quirk, the Chattam Islands are among the first places on Earth to see the new day. They live ahead of almost everyone else by exactly 45 minutes. So technically, when you're still sipping your evening coffee, they're already living in tomorrow. It's not quite time travel, but it's as close as you'll get without a DeLorean. And if you think living ahead of time is eccentric, just wait till you hear fact number 1, where New Zealand gave a river the same rights as a human being. Yep, a living, breathing, legal entity. Stick around. This final one will leave you stunned. Fact number 1. You've made it to the end. And trust us, this final fact is worth every second you waited. In 2017, New Zealand did something no other country had ever done before. It didn't just protect nature, it gave it a voice. Specifically, the Wanganui River was granted the same legal rights as a human being. Yes, you heard that right. A river now holds legal personhood. Why? Because for the indigenous Maori people, the Wanganui isn't just water flowing through the land, it's an ancestor, a living being, a sacred part of their identity. For centuries, they've said, Ko Aotearoa, Ko Te Awa Ko Au. I am the river, and the river is me. After decades of advocacy and cultural recognition, the New Zealand government listened. They passed a law recognizing the river as a legal person with its own rights, guardians, and standing in court, just like you and me. Imagine that. A river, not as a resource to be used, but as a being to be respected. A voice for nature in the legal system. A bridge between ancient wisdom and modern law. In a world racing forward, New Zealand paused and listened to the heart of its land. That's not just eccentric, it's profound. So next time you think of New Zealand, don't just picture sheep or stunning mountains. Picture a river, alive in the eyes of the law. And that's what makes New Zealand not just beautiful, but brave. So there you have it, 7-1, each fact more surprising, strange, and spectacular than the last. From cat bands and penguins in sushi shops, to rivers with legal rights and islands where time bends, New Zealand has proven it's not just beautiful, it's brilliantly eccentric. But now it's your turn. Which fact completely blew your mind? Was it the snake-free paradise, or the idea of a river having human rights? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing what shocks or inspires you the most, and if you enjoyed this journey through the unexpected side of New Zealand, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing travel stories and global wonders. Because trust us, the world is a lot weirder and more wonderful than you think. See you in the next video.